Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more of the First Descendant, and last time we were checking out what was an update of some variety, including a new boss, a new big bad final boss of the Colossus variety, and a new reward system, a slight modification to the reward system for the arcade tuning stuffs. So, that being said, we explored most of those things last time, and there isn't that much that we have yet to see for us to continue to explore today. So, I want to be brutally honest with you, I don't really know what the agenda is for today, beyond just doing dailies and maybe revisiting a little bit of the stuff that we were doing last time round. But it does feel like at this stage, we're kind of in that lull period where we're waiting for the next big update that I think we're still a few weeks away from. So, that being said, I have not yet done dailies, so that's likely where I would start, but yeah, already people chatting about, is it worth it to grind for what is a very low percentage drop on the spoils boxes, which now it is possible to set them as target rewards. It's just that, as people were saying, they are extremely rare, and so even if you track them and it gives you the potential for a pity boost or a pity reward from these, if it takes you a really long time before they drop naturally, it still takes an extremely long time for that to proc. So we have to pick one or the other. Okay. Which one is it that I tend to do more of? I think it's Isolated Desert, so sure. I guess we do that. And then, as for how helpful they actually are, it varies. But I have one of them. I have not yet tried using it, so I cannot speak personally to just how impactful it has or has not yet been for me. Alright, Big Country, need to update or download the update, so you'll be good to go in a little bit. Let's see. Still have no content rating, that much power, so won't get involved in that same min-maxing 95%. I mean, it just seems like, yeah, their characters are already pretty overpowered and have been for quite some time, outside of maybe this last Void Intercept boss, which is, by many accounts, purely optional, and even then you can still potentially get carried by other people, and obviously it is still possible to steamroll it, even with, it does require very deliberate character building and quite a lot of setup and whatnot to get there, but there's that, and then maybe Void Erosion Purge, the latter stages of this, and then going into the challenge mode, certainly with that stuff, but that's really endgame stuff, so outside of that, there isn't much need for many of these other upgrade systems, which does make it feel a little bit, I don't want to say quite meaningless, but close to it, I suppose. Outgrew the thrill of maximum DPS. I mean, I feel like there's absolutely a valid case to be made for feeling like, whether it be that you just don't like blinking and finishing content immediately, that's fair, because you don't get to experience many of the mechanics in that case. Good example being things like the final Void Intercept boss. Or if you just feel like, well, I don't like playing the same setup every time, the same crazy overpowered character, or, just following other people's builds and whatnot. I want to be creative and try new things. Like, that is totally fair as well. So, let's see. In terms of what there is that's still meaningful that we can do in the meantime, there's still arcade tuning, which I have leveled up. I've maxed out on several characters, but not all of them. I mean, at this point, for the most part, the ones that I'm using have been maxed. So, starting to not quite scrape the bottom of the barrel, I think Sharon, who I was working on most recently, and yeah, she's kind of been overshadowed by a bunch of other characters. Not that she's weak, but there are a whole bunch of other characters who are crazy overpowered. So she's maybe the person we'll use there in that case. So, suppose we could do that. And maybe while we're waiting for the likes of Big Country and potentially Joker, if you want to pop in, you're welcome to join me as well. I mean, I suspect we'll probably do a few rounds of the Sigma sector today, so obviously the first instance in which we do that in either zone will give us the extra arcade tuning experience, but we can always continue to do that multiple times over, so it doesn't really matter if we're all doing it for the first time together or not. So maybe, for that reason, we'll hop in for a mission or two here while we're potentially still waiting for other people. And this is the one that I think I just tracked this on. Isolated Desert? I think that's what I did. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, of course, a few weeks from now, when we do get that big update with a bunch of new content in it, exactly what that will include. But at least for now, any updates that we get are pretty modest.
Descendant, confirm arrival at the operation zone. Proceed with caution.
Actually, it would be kind of nice to have this Lepic set us up. Those vacuum cleaner grenades. And then use our blade to slice the enemies right in front of us. Granted, we also have an Inez, who is immediately deleting all the enemies before we can do that. So, don't know that that's actually going to happen, as evidenced by how I could not even walk up to the enemies who were directly in front of me before Inez had killed them. Maybe that speaks a little bit to the things we were alluding to before. Okay, Big Country's on now. Nice. See, I just hopped into a quick Sigma sector mission. Obviously, this is already destroyed. What am I thinking? Shouldn't be too much longer before we're done, though. This is obviously the last area. Excuse me, sir. No, don't fly away from me. Oh, that was Lepic that I just attempted to attack. Perfect.
Hound actual to HQ. Mission complete. Requesting transport support.
So why don't we head back and we can potentially reconvene if there's anyone who would like to hop in. If we get content that needs to make you min-max seriously, you'll do it. But until then, it's not really necessary. Yeah, I mean, in some ways that's kind of nice that it doesn't feel like there's a crazy amount of pressure to min-max your characters to the nth degree. Like, if you could barely do any missions without... if you absolutely needed to have all these upgrades in place in order to do many of the important endgame missions, then that would be pretty tough. That'd be pretty punishing. Like, there is definitely something to be said for being able to take almost any, at least level 40 character into a Sigma Sector mission or into a 400% dungeon, but and that allows you to use those types of missions for things like leveling up and catalyzing the characters to make them stronger still, improving your weapons, things like that. Whereas if it was so difficult to do those missions that you could not afford to take those characters that were still powering up into those missions without failing the missions, then that would be a very different dynamic. Okay, but let me jump into Discord. Let's see. It looks like Big Country's there already. Perfect. Hello, Big Country. How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Alright, let me see if I can get you in here. And then Joker, or anyone else, if you'd like to hop in, you're welcome to do so as well. As I said, there isn't that much of an agenda for today, so I suppose I'm open to suggestions. I guess we can do Sigma Sector stuff, since that's kind of, sort of the thing that has gotten the most recent updates, even if they're very minor.
Yeah, and not next week, but the week after, there is going to be another update for external components.
Mm-hmm.
So I still don't really know what that's about, but we'll see.
Ooh. Ignore Lids dropping a fork on the ground.
Okay, I thought that was like a cup or something.
No, that was a fork.
Okay, I'm at like level 38 on this character, so I can just finish that with like
Yeah. Okay.
one of the dailies.
So, would you like to do the Sigma Sector first in that case?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
We can just do the dailies and then do just get that. Unless if Joker wants to join us.
Yeah, that overall, I would say that's my biggest thing, is I hope that they balance out characters a little more, because, I mean, they've done a tiny bit on that front, bringing the likes of Inez back down a little bit closer to other characters, but there are definitely still others that feel like they are woefully underpowered in comparison.
I think they've I remember at the beginning it was like just Bunny, then it was just Freyna, but they've had buffed quite a few characters.
Yeah, I mean, we have this conversation every time. Overall, I think
Yeah,
that
that's true.
First Descendant is a very poorly balanced game, and it may change from one update to the next which characters are overpowered, but there is almost always one or two characters who are extremely overpowered relative to other characters, and it does feel like it limits the variety of options players have unless you are knowingly and willingly taking something that is a much, much weaker setup, which in some cases, as Joker was talking about and as I was talking about a bit, sometimes that's okay, but it doesn't feel great at times, especially when you have the likes of an Inez or a little while ago, a Bunny zooming past you and killing everything before you even enter a room.
Yeah. Although the polar set was actually really good to run, like he was talking about the external components.
Mm-hmm.
The polar set was really good to run on a gun Haley Descendant for a while there.
This is, don't do statuses for what it's worth for the one we're about to jump into.
Yeah, that.
Good luck!
Yeah. Maybe I should switch to Ajax. But, yeah, I think Shell Crusher kind of overtook it now, like just the 2-piece set for the 5% fire rate bonus. So you know how much I talk about fire rate in this game.
Bring back the days when people used non-set components. Come on!
This is a phase separation rail, which uses inversion energy. It has a large output, which requires processing of tens of billions of units of data per second. According to the scan results, the structure that appears to be a computing device is full of Vulgis artificial brains. This is how they are processing all that data. Continue to insert Vulgis artificial brains into the computing device Descendant.
Whoops.
If you overload the device, the
I got
veil
one.
will be neutralized.
Okay, my Inez one wasn't attaching there. That was annoying.
Oh, I'll be honest, it felt like we must have made it a private lobby, given how it was just the two of us, but apparently not.
Activating stealth.
Says the person who made the lobby in the first place and probably should have known.
Well, I was wondering why it took so long to get a
That was
lobby.
interesting. Oh, oops. I totally noticed that there was still one left unbroken. I was just testing you to see if you noticed.
I did.
Loading.
The enemy commander is using the phase separation.
I also
rail
like
as
that
a
this
shield.
person's name is Almost Katana Sniper, which is almost sort of a Mass Effect reference. Obviously, those are things that exist outside of the Mass Effect universe. And the katana in the Mass Effect universe is a shotgun, not a sniper rifle. But that is nonetheless where my brain went.
In tracking. Activating stealth.
Ah, I missed.
No, statuses. The stati.
Yeah, I mostly remember that because I remember having to farm for a Polar Night set while I was trying to use Haley in
This
the
is a phase separation rail,
Purge.
which uses inversion energy. It has a large output, which requires processing of tens of billions of units of data per second.
What is the source of the Polar Night set
According
again?
to the scan results, the structure that appears to
Dead
be a
Bride.
computing device
Oh,
is full
okay.
of Vulgis artificial brains. This is how they are processing all that data. Continue to insert Vulgis artificial brains into the computing device Descendant.
Unseen.
If you overload the device, the veil will be neutralized.
Yeah, don't try to use Lepic to farm Dead Bride because you'll just miss every shot. She's way too skinny.
Oh, yes, I can relate to that. Definitely
am
many
just using
times when that
freedom.
happened to me. Oops. Not with that attitude. True. True. What? I mean, it's been a while. It's been a long while since I've done much of anything with Lepic. Let alone used him to farm Dead Bride. But there was a time, a long time ago, when I was probably doing that a bit, and I do remember that happening a fair bit. Because even now, I still remember
The enemy commander
the
is
frustration
using the phase
of
separation rail
missing
as a
on
shield.
multiple
If
of
you
those
overload
big
the
hits.
computing device, you can create an opening to attack the commander directly.
Oh, goodness. Wow. Okay. Parkour game. It's not on today.
Keep trying.
Don't worry, guys. I got one.
I can't hit Inez's 3.
It is very finicky. And unforgiving. One moment while I delete said bot.
Yes, stream boo. That seems to be very consistent with those guys.
Ban. Said it before, but I'm so tempted to ban the phrase delete the space because that's seemingly always the way that they work around. We do have, that's the reason why we have Nightbot set up to ban links, because it's so often that the bots come in and try to basically fish people or just bait them in other ways with links. So then the bots come in and deliberately put a space in between some letters in the URL so that it doesn't get caught by Nightbot. But then they say delete the space. I'm on to you. One of these days, I will actually ban that phrase with Nightbot. Alright. Let's see. The other one is, Heart of the Fortress. And don't use general rounds. That is the gist.
Well, that's nice and easy.
It's the pillar one.
You can see on on your stream, you can see me jumping up and down in the background.
I didn't notice. Was it like your shadow specifically, or just your name?
Well,
Or you
you could see my character. Oh, I'm stuck on
No,
top of you.
no. Enough jumping.
Drones which give off inversion energy and a container with unidentified arcade storage.
Triangle 2.
The enemy aims
Circle
to
3.
combine these two forces to cause an inversion.
So it's this one over here.
Yeah, there's
No, it's not.
only... There are 4 actually in this one. Yeah, it's over here.
Right.
This is the hardest one by that. I think it's the only one that has 4.
To reveal the arcade stored inside. If I have ancestors, they
Yeah, just make it a brief timeout, I guess.
Just before the explosion,
Yeah, that's why
find the drone which matches the arcade's
mean,
properties and use it as cover.
I can't think of any time an actual person has ever had reason to say delete the space, but maybe there are some. You've seen it?
I can adjust the output to cancel out the blast energy.
I mean, maybe I just
The drone has been destroyed
never
and
thought
the
anything of it
inversion
when
energy emitter has been exposed.
a person has said it in totally
With this
different
large output, you can
contexts.
remove the malignant tumor that is blocking the door.
It's just much more memorable when you get spammed with bots who constantly say that.
So X, O.
It might be this here. Square.
Yeah, I think this is the only one yet.
Yeah, it's square. Okay.
Good thing there's no friendly fire.
Tickles.
Oh, I just leveled up for the season.
Oh, nice. What from?
Oh, I acquired basic materials.
Oh, I destroyed the little box. You can thank me later.
Yes.
I was
Oh, I should
wondering what you could have possibly done as we were just running from one room to the next that would have caused you to level up.
I was
Circle at
attacking
bottom.
the boss there. X at 2.
Triangle at top.
Triangle.
It's a triangle.
It's over here.
X. Where are you?
Here.
Oh. Did I zone out and not stand in the circle, or did we legitimately pick the wrong one?
We both died. I don't know what happened there.
I will admit, I was glancing at chat, so for all I know, the little drone area may have moved past us.
Has malignant tumors throughout their body.
Square,
The
circle,
inversion energy emitter installed on the ancestor drone.
triangle, square, circle. Top to bottom. Where is that? Here it is. Okay, it has to be this. It is not possible for it to be anything else.
I think the guy just killed us. He has some really high damaging attacks.
Oh, maybe that was it. Otherwise, it might have been that we had two correct.
I think it was that attack in particular.
Unseen. Target eliminated.
First try. Yeah, right. If you get 3, then mathematically that means you must be correct. Because by process of elimination, you know what the 4th one's going to be.
See, I think we did get 3 that time.
It might have been that the guy just took us out. As I said, I was not paying particularly close attention, so that also could have affected that, made it more likely that we just got absolutely walloped without even
Triangle
realizing.
2.
This is the top. It is.
Oh, a top.
Oh.
I
You said
see
triangle.
one that matches 2 of them.
Hold on. Let's just get one more. Square is 3. Okay, it is this.
If I know the ancestors, they will have already identified the Arcase properties. Just before the explosion happens, find the drone which matches the Arcase properties
like-
and use it as cover.
Yeah,
That drone
way
seems to have
back.
similar technology to your inversion
I feel like
reinforcement
even when it
tanks.
must have been on normal,
If you have found the
when I
drone
was
which
trying to
has the
clear
correct
out
Arcade properties,
White Knight
I can
Gulch.
adjust the output to cancel out the blast
The
energy.
that's the last of the dungeons in White Knight Gulch that guy is the final boss of, right? Yeah,
I think so, yeah. I'm not 100% certain though.
pretty sure. I think the result. I think that was fairly difficult at the time. I mean, again, this is early, before we were anywhere near the place where everyone had, you know, a bazillion catalysts and super powered guns and all that stuff.
It's this one here.
Okay. But
I got
remember
3.
it being tough. And I think there might have even been something that made it potentially worth farming that mission. Might have been blue brains before I realized there were other places where you could probably get that stuff more efficiently. I don't know. But I feel like I did end up doing it several times. And that it was not a given that we were going to succeed every time.
Yeah, I'm hoping the 8-man raid next season is going to be like that.
Descendant, the commander of the Order of Truth has malignant tumors.
Difficulty-wise, you mean.
3x, yeah.
We need
Square
the
3
inversion
x2.
energy emitter installed on the ancestor drone.
Circle bottom?
It's here.
Are you sure?
Yes, there's
Triangle
3.
top. How did you know that when we've only gotten 2 of them already?
No, I got
Oh,
2.
I guess you
and
saw
got
them.
1.
Okay. I thought you made the call even before I had just gotten that one. I was like, wait a second. All right. The final mission boss, I definitely didn't farm him. I think that was one where I just did it once and said, all right, enough of that. Because, yeah, he did take a long time.
I did farm him, but by the time I farmed him, I was already super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, by the time I fought him, because I don't know if you're supposed to, but I was farming hard mode before I beat that boss.
Wait, that's possible?
Yes, because I did it.
I'm not sure I realized that you could even try to do that, but okay.
Yeah. So I had like a fully built out character before I fought him, but when I went to farm him, this was before you could do it in private mode.
Mm-hmm.
I took a Lepic and I was just going to blast him to pieces, and this guy, he immediately picked up that square, like right as we started, and he just held it. Like I had 4 ultimates by the time he put that square down.
I don't remember what the square is.
There's a square, like he has a rage mechanic, so he'll wipe if you like damage him too much and like without picking up the square, and then he becomes invulnerable except for a little piece on his mouth.
I do not
Yeah.
remember this at all. But he had a 5-minute timer at the beginning. That I might remember.
Yeah. So once you broke that mouthpiece, then the rage mechanic would be completely redone, like completely wiped.
Mm-hmm.
So then you could, go back to damaging him and then pick up the square and do it over and over again. But a guy picked up the square and refused to put it down. I broke that. I had 4 ultimates and broke the mouthpiece. I think it was 5 times.
Wait, are we talking about Hanged Man?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the boss at the end of the Heart of the Fortress. I was like, I don't
No, we
remember
were
there
talking about
being a
Hanged Man.
box that you pick up. I don't remember farming this guy. I don't know why you would farm this guy. Huh. Now it starts to make a lot more sense. Okay. Sorry about that. I was thinking about the wrong mission.
And no, we're talking about Hangman.
Okay. Now I'm with you. Now I'm with you. Took me a minute. But now I'm with you. Okay, speaking of missions and the correct one to do, would we like to go Sigma Sector now?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll go 1 mission with this character, then I'll switch to something else.
This is Hound Action, reporting extreme concentrations of void energy within the operation zone. All units, please proceed at your own discretion, but do not exceed your limits. The specialized Vulgis aircraft has stopped to resupply. It's defenseless.
Imagine if I... Wait, I was about to say, imagine if I could jump high enough to hit those guys with my sword. It actually could be possible with, specifically, the help of a Serena. Creating the little
I was more
launch
thinking
pad.
mid-air maneuvering.
Oh, that too. That's true. I was thinking launch pad, though.
Like, I did it all the time with mid-air maneuvering and Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
I would jump up and activate my 4.
We've detected signs of life inside a nearby RK receptor.
Guys, it's already activated. Please join the base. Whatever that means. Oh. Oh, no, you know what I want is to use mid-air maneuvering or whatever you need to get up there, and then punch those spaceships out of the sky.
Wait, and the new item, I do think Joker's underestimating it a little bit. Because like quite a few of the options are quite powerful. I think it's worth using on most characters. Like on any character that doesn't need crit chance and cooldown.
Because otherwise it would take too much arcade tuning to track those things down. Is that why?
Yeah.
I am.
Like if so, Inez, Viesa, I think pretty much everyone else it's worth using. Is it worth farming? That I think is more debatable. But
Then again, you know, it comes from Sigma Sector, which, if you're making a point of doing arcade tuning daily related stuff, then you might be doing at least 2 of those a day, which is not going to get you a ton of those things, but at least not immediately, but eventually you'll pick up a
I have
few.
done more than 50 runs of this, and I haven't got a single one yet. So.
Oops.
I am very happy for the PD system.
Mission complete. Requesting transport support.
Yeah, and obviously it'll vary from one build to the next, one character to the next, how impactful exactly it is. That's true.
Yeah, I might save it more for, like, if I get some, I might save them more for next season, like, build 1 or 2 characters out with them.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is I don't remember how exactly it works in terms of, like, how it saves. Not only how it saves that stuff, but, like, if you want to change your arcade tuning, and you've already invested in one of those things, do you permanently lose it? Or is
No,
there
I
a way
think
to,
you
like,
can cut it out.
refund it? Oh,
Yeah,
this,
like, that's the cutting thing.
that's the scissor stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, just, like, take a pair of scissors and slice out your DNA. It makes perfect sense. Just don't think about it too much, because that is otherwise a pretty gruesome thought. Okay. So let's go to this one now. Yeah, prefer to go a little tankier. And I quickly skimmed over some of the boosts from that new arcade tuning boost, but I don't remember what many of the, a lot of them were offensive. I don't know if any of them are defensive.
There. You have to go into like the different sections though of the arcade tuning.
You can't just pick whichever one you want and put it in any of the corners.
This is Hound Actual, reporting extreme concentrations of void energy within the operation zone. All units, please proceed at your own discretion, but do not exceed your
I don't think you'll be doing very much this.
Specialized Vulgis aircraft has stopped to resupply. It's defenseless. Shoot it down.
I am stuck.
Oh.
There we go. Got out.
Okay.
I see a gap in the enemy's air defenses. We can provide air support. Ground troops, awaiting your signal.
How was that?
Unseen. Entering stealth. Firing.
This guy is a
Where
little
are you?
annoying as Sharon. Yeah. Sometimes he just flies up there and it's a little hard to hit. So I suppose a little more reachable than the spaceships in most situations. Pretty sure I was too short. I'm just gonna double check that I actually did
Mission complete.
put that
Requesting
item
transport
on for
support.
tracking. Okay, I did.
I should check too. Oh, I just got one.
Oh, nice.
I was like 0%. What?
Yeah, whoa, wow. Those move really slowly, huh? Okay. So, obviously we've done at least one of each of the areas. Do we want to continue to farm this one a bit, or do we want to shift gears to something else? What are we thinking?
I say switch between this and farming for cores.
Okay. So, a little bit more of this, then go cores after that? How's that sound?
Sure, that works for me.
Troops are on the ground. Transport ship will remain on standby for air support.
You know what I just thought of? What if... I mean, I've definitely done this accidentally before, but what if you, at the beginning of the mission, when it's not a given whether you're going to turn one way or the other, what if you deliberately went the wrong way as far as possible just to see how long you could go before your teammates realized that you were leading them astray?
I wonder how much you go until you have, like, you have to gain forces you to come
True. I mean, I think before that, your teammates will realize, hey, there are no enemies here. We must have gone the wrong direction. And I've definitely come close to doing that, or at least I've started to do that a little bit many times before, but I'm talking like truly try to push as far as possible to see if you can convince your teammates to go the wrong way deliberately. See how far you can take them.
Large Vulgis presence confirmed in the operation zone. Descendant, on your signal, we will initiate close air support.
I do like just running through them and then hearing the pop, 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 pop.
A little popcorn-esque in a way. Get back here. Actually, he jumps on the time when I choose not to jump. This fakes me out.
Operation completed. Awaiting transfer to transport position. Well done, Descendant.
Oh, we actually have a fair bit.
Yeah, a bunch of the new components are actually very useful for a lot
Nice.
of stuff. The most obvious is Shell Crusher, 2%. But the Enlightened, the Plague, pretty good for Freyna and Keelan.
Good to go for the next one?
Yeah, sending armory is actually really good for mobbing. Oh, what's her name? Flying person.
Serena?
Yes.
Bunny with midair maneuvering?
Not as much, I would say.
I was just trying to think of a way to become a flying character that was not Serena.
Confirm arrival at the operation zone. Proceed with caution.
Guys, we should totally go this way. Wasn't quick enough.
I'll be honest, I don't look at my teammates when I decide to go which way.
I feel like most of the time I just go with the car. Either I just pick a side and go with it, or I just follow behind the group. But yeah, no one followed me this time.
A specialized Vulgis aircraft has appeared over the operation zone. Blasted out of the sky.
You won't find
Nope, I forgot to activate my 3.
activating stuff.
Yeah, if you want to avoid damage while mobbing, just get enough grapple and then grapple above everything.
Yeah, if you do core stuff though, then yeah, you could actually, you could basically fly that way.
Yeah, you just need one grapple and... Oh, there's one person left?
That's what, the yellow cores?
Green. No, yeah, you're right, yellow.
I think
Don't know
it's
why I
instead
said
of movement speed, right?
Yeah,
Descendant,
that's why I usually
air
get one
support
movement
standing
speed and
by.
one grapple, 2
Under
movement speeds
signal
and
will
one grapple.
initiate suppressing
Well, now I'm wondering if, just for memes, you take one weapon that you don't actually expect to be using very much, and dedicate multiple cores to the grapple cooldown, so that it is
The thing
quite
is, I just
literally
don't think
instant.
it's necessary.
It's
because-
still just about instant even with one.
Yeah.
Exhilarating, isn't it?
Doesn't
Like, I've got a
even require
purple
that
and I
much
can stay in the
room.
air constantly.
So much for that.
Where are you? There you are.
Oh,
You're-
that's interesting. If you have 2 copies of a weapon, you could deliberately core it up differently.
Yeah.
And with that sort of thing in mind, obviously, if you're using a weapon primarily for damage, then in most cases, like maybe you have one that's spec for one element, one that's spec for a different element. Maybe in that case it might make some sense to have two versions of the same weapon, but otherwise, if you're using some cores for mobility's sake, yeah, you could mess around a little bit with that kind of thing. People like Keelan don't need grapple. Keelan's dash is a grapple, basically. Oh, that's true. Kyle was the obvious other character to fly around, rather than Bunny with a mid-air maneuvering and core for cooldowns.
This is Hound action.
No, I was thinking to myself, I'm going left no matter what, and then it was actually correct.
All units, please proceed at your own discretion, but do not exceed your limits.
Oh, we got 2 Freenus and 9S.
Two frames. Nope, this has slower movement speed. Never mind. AC 130.
Entering stealth state. Activating stealth.
Descendant, the transport has dropped a wide-ranged shaping charge on the ground. We need it to purify the void energy. Prime the detonator with your RK, then hit the detonation device.
We already hit this detonation device? We had. Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was that Inez who was going up ahead.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. They've basically done all phases by the time I get over here. Like, I hear the voice line, so I walk up to the first device. Like, this doesn't look the way it usually looks. Immediately
And
go
the
into
first
this
phase of both
phase.
is already done.
Yep.
Oh, I'm outside of the cube.
Oh! Big country!
Hello.
Save yourself! There's no escape! Oh, never mind, there is escape. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen.
I haven't either.
Did you teleport at all?
No?
It just didn't teleport you, so you stayed outside. Huh. I wonder why that is. I mean,
I
obviously
stayed
it's a bug
back a
of
bit
some...
to pick up some, reactors.
Even then, though, I feel like...
Mission complete. All units
I was
proceed
pretty
to
far back
transport
as well. It
location.
teleported me, and so
Great work
that's
out there.
weird. Yeah. Sharon used to be able to pop invisibility and stay out of it that way. Interesting. But that was patched. Darn it! That would have been fun. I want to be left out.
I should get crit rate outside of my, what's it called?
Huh?
For the reactor junk filter.
Are you supposed to be using a gun as a crutch?
What?
So it really looks like you have a crutch right now. Whatever the... I don't even recognize what gun this is.
Oh, I think that's the vulture.
It's like, it's one thing to have the gun strapped to your back, sure, but another thing for it to be dragging behind you.
Yeah, I think that's the vulture.
Crit rate roll is pretty useless, only gaining at most 6%.
Yeah.
This is Hound Action.
No, stop actually sending us to the
Void energy
left.
within the operation zone. All units, please proceed at your own discretion, but do not exceed your limits.
No.
Activating stealth.
I'm just going to be picking up a bunch of reactors because I'm still hoping to get some, reactors for Blair and stuff.
Now I'm tempted to deliberately stay back, maybe have myself cloaked and try to get left out of the teleporter to see if it's possible to deliberately try to make that happen.
I could not pick up the things there.
Oh.
Just would not let me.
Okay, so I'm deliberately staying as far back as possible. In fact, I'm running in the opposite direction.
Descendant, the transport has dropped a wide-ranged shaping charge on the ground. We need it to purify the void energy. Prime the detonator with your RK, then hit the detonation device.
Oh, I almost jumped off.
Circle, so at a certain point, if I run away too far, it's actually going to become closer again. I think this is more or less as far as I can go. Maybe that corner? Probably. Yeah, now I'm getting closer. About here. What? 200 meters? Why are you guys getting or 300, basically. Why are you guys
We're
getting
at the
close?
boss arena.
Pattern Elias. Deploying
Alright, let
RK.
me quote.
The original.
Well,
Cool.
we're in the circle.
I avoided it!
I don't think
I did
I don't
it!
think your cloak did anything.
It might have just been because I was really far away. But I did both just in case. Now I won't cloak.
Well, we're in here again.
Okay. Seems like it's the distance that did it. Now, granted, obviously I'm not close enough to pick up any loot that drops. So... I would like that.
Mission complete.
Oh,
All units
no.
proceed to transport location.
We can walk through
Great
that.
work out there.
That's extremely helpful. Also, can I get close enough here that my doggo can teleport through the wall to pick up the stuff? Because I can't go through here. No, go away. I have 75 seconds.
You won't find me.
Let's get going, Reggie. Oh, where'd these things come from?
Unseen.
Come on, you're getting there.
I'm on my way! Run through this wall that I'm not supposed to be able to run through. Oh, I forgot to deactivate the cloak. Where was it?
Yeah, movement speed was from the cloak.
Initiating stealth operation.
Wait, where was it? Was it over here?
Oh, the loot must have been gone now then.
Yeah,
Is it right
I
here?
don't see anything unless my doggo picked it up without my having realized it, but I don't think he did. Oh, no, that's just dismantling stuff. Yeah, I think I just walked away with a fat stack of nothing. Which, you know, is probably deserved, but at the same time, you know, it would have been nice, but we did kind of ask for it. Who is that? Ajax?
Confirm
Are we in
arrival at
gold
the
Ajax?
operation zone.
Stop
Proceed
sending
with
us left.
caution.
Initiating stealth.
You're like reverse Derek Zoolander.
That's laughing.
Man, the difference between missions when we do and do not have an Inez.
Yeah.
Pretty stark contrast. This mission, I've already been able to kill more enemies than I did in the entire previous mission. Might that have something to do with how I was running away from much of the previous mission? Well, I mean, yes, but even missions before that. When I was keeping up with the team, still very little in the way of kills. With those Inezes snooping around. And by snooping, I mean speeding.
Yeah, I still can't believe people think that Inez is like unplayable now.
Well, that's what happens.
Wide-range shaping charge
Oh,
drop
jeez.
complete.
I jumped
Begin
over.
the void energy purification operation. Descendant, prime the detonator with your arcade. Then activate the remote detonation device.
Initiating stealth operation.
That was interesting. The frames, or lack thereof.
Target eliminated. You won't find me.
Pattern Elias. Deploying RK.
Yes, when we're this close, we definitely get teleported in. No question. Yeah, there you go. So it seems like maybe there's just a range on her teleport. And it's a long range, but it is not necessarily long enough to get everyone in guaranteed, regardless of where they are in the map.
Entering stealth station.
Kind of difficult to hit those.
Target eliminated.
Maybe I should just
Lids.
maybe I should just never hang out over here. I think that maybe that's the takeaway, is it's actually optimal
Well done.
to run away from this boss fight. I think that's what we learned. I assume I still got things like RK tuning from the previous one. If not, that would have been
Probably.
pretty punitive. I assume it's just the drops at the end. 'Cause
Oh, I got a second spoil box.
oh, nice.
You are my lucky, because I've had far less matches than I had earlier this week, and I've already had way more than ever. So you are my lucky charm, I guess.
I did not realize you could come up here.
I haven't touched the ground for some time.
See, it is possible to fly, even without Serena.
Yeah, it's possible to fly for every character in the game. Just need the right gun.
Now, just out of context. Yeah, of course it's possible to fly. You just need the right gun. Hold on a second.
This is HQ. Troops are on the ground. Transport is
Oh, it was so close to working. No.
No, I don't think it worked on anyone.
It almost worked on you.
I was ahead of you.
Well, yeah, I was hoping you were going to keep on walking this way when you saw me going here as well.
No.
A specialized Vulgis aircraft has appeared over the operation zone. Blasted out of the sky.
We have a wild Jaber.
Oh, what do you do?
You won't find me.
I'm sorry, that was... We've previously established Pokemon references are not the go-to.
No, way over my head.
Also, admittedly, that one's pretty subtle, without additional context or lines.
Target eliminated. Activating stealth.
I think it's possible to balance around Freyna. Because, like, she doesn't have a way to deal with, you know, high health
I see a
mobs, so
gap
like
in the enemy's
the
air
yellow
defenses.
bars.
We can provide
I
air
mean, you're 4.
ground troops waiting to
Still
Yeah,
very
but
good.
you can't have it active all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, does everyone get to immediately delete everything?
Well, that's the thing. You balance around that. You just have a lot more of the yellow bars.
Yeah, I think I would still argue Freyna is very, very strong, probably too strong, but I think you've gone too far at this point, and if you were to revert the characters being balanced to be weaker than Freyna, then you would continue to have backlash, significant backlash. I think probably can't do that anymore, but I get what you're saying, where you could sort of make... This feels a little intellectually dishonest to say this, because Freyna is still, I would argue, extremely strong, but you could almost make the case that she is an Achilles heel character, and that she is really, really good at many things, or at least one thing incredible at, but she has a critical weakness that makes her balanced. That weakness being what you just said. She doesn't have sustained damage against yellow health enemies, although that still feels like it's not really true.
Operation completed.
Once upon a time, I had said that the thing balancing her was that she didn't have increased movement speed. So at least, even if she had crazy clear speed, she couldn't be the first person into the room every time like a bunny could be. But now, with all the movement speed potential on cores, that's no longer the case, and you can get the best of every world, even on the likes of Freyna, or very close to it.
Well, a good example would be the Void Purge. She's useless there.
Yeah, they did from a Void Purge standpoint, they did a pretty good job
This is Hound
of
action to all personnel. Void storm
making
is
it
intensified.
difficult enough
Conditions are unfavorable.
that
Proceed with caution.
there were some limitations on which characters you wanted to bring in. Now, as for whether they have done an adequate job of finding other places to play the characters who are not good in Void Purge, that's a different question. Reyna certainly still has plenty of places where she is strong. Then you have characters like Jaber who are, you know, have no use case. But yeah, if you could get other Void Purge-like missions, at least of a similar caliber of difficulty, and have them favor other types of characters that are not favored in the Void Purge, then you start to get some of those more balanced endgame missions that we're talking about, where it's not as if you can just take the same character to everything because they're the best in every situation. But that's
Well,
still...
that's the thing. A lot of people were mad that they couldn't take their favorite character, so that's why they started pulling back. I think that was a mistake.
Yeah, and I mean that... Then you start asking some fundamental questions about what is the intention of the First Descendant. Is it supposed to be a game in which you choose a character and you play that character, and that is the one that you specialize in, and you play other characters very infrequently, if at all? Or is it a game where you are supposed to own and level up and use many different characters in many different situations? Because there are games where you do have or at least you're highly encouraged to have a quote-unquote main, as we've sort of heard some people mentioning occasionally in First Descendant. But is that the intention, or is it more so...
Yeah, that's the thing.
Variety
I don't
of
think
stuff.
this game ever should have, like, the intention was ever to have a main and stuff.
I would argue that's also the case, because although it, at the very, very early stages, it is difficult to unlock new characters, or at least it was in, like, the beta. Nowadays, in the campaign, they basically walk you through the process of leveling or unlocking at least Bunny, if not a few other characters after Bunny, so that with some time, you can get at least 3 or 4 characters without having to pay any real-world money. So that's not really a barrier to that process. And then, you know, yes,
You can even get Ultimate Bunny in normal mode now.
Yeah.
Easily.
and sure, it does take, if you're fully catalyzing a character, it takes a lot more time and effort to do that, and then you also have to unlock all the catalysts to do that. So at that point, you know, if you don't have the luxury of having that kind of time to get those catalysts and level up your characters several times over, then okay, at that point, yes, that starts to encourage people to prioritize one character over the others, but still don't think it's that much of a time commitment to at least get 2 characters unlocked
I'd also argue
and
at
leveled
that
up.
point that you have plenty of other stuff to do. You don't have to do that content. You have other content to do. If you don't have time to do the late game
This
content,
is HQ. Troops
you
are on the
don't
ground.
have to do the late game
Transport is
content.
en route to standby position. Best of luck, Descendant.
I'm not being too gatekeepy there, am I? I don't.
I mean, if it were like there are, it's not as if you can instantly unlock additional characters. I want to make that clear. So, acknowledging that, yes, it does take some time, for sure. So it's not like this is just a totally mindless and effortless process to unlock and level up additional characters. There is some time and effort that goes into that. So it's not like it's the easiest thing in the world to level up multiple different characters, but I'm just saying, even getting 2 or 3, and they don't even necessarily need to be perfectly optimized either. You know, throw maybe a couple catalysts in, especially nowadays. They're giving out a lot of catalysts
We've detected signs
from
of life inside a
like
nearby
daily
arcade
login
sector.
rewards and whatnot. And the game has been out at this point for what, like a year? So that's another factor. Is just
A year in July.
yeah, it's a little less than a year. So people have had some time. The game has been out long enough to give people time to farm up and level up some of those characters. Now, obviously, that means for newer people to the game, then they haven't had that same kind of time. It's more difficult to do all that stuff. I totally get that. So I'm not saying that, like, I expect
I'm also pretty sure
everyone
they
to have
give
every character.
Catalyst now
What's that?
as like part of missions and stuff. They give Catalyst now in normal mode.
Yeah.
As like part of missions and stuff.
Yeah, so they're lowering the barrier to entry in a few different ways in that case. And I'm not saying that, you need to have every single character unlocked. And that, the game should require you to alternate
No.
between every single character. Because at that point, like, okay, yeah, that would start to get kind of gatekeeper-y. So it's like, well, if you don't have the ability to invest hundreds of hours into this game, then you don't deserve to play it. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But if we are talking about endgame missions and balance around those, then I think it's reasonable to say there should be some reason to want to switch characters from one type of mission to the next, and not just have one universally superior character in every circumstance. Because then otherwise, why do the other characters exist?
Yeah, exactly.
In a game where you are consistently introducing new characters, which is the case with First Descendant, then the whole premise of those sorts of updates is that, hey, there is reason for you to unlock and use those characters. If not, then those updates would not be meaningful, and you would have, once you unlock that one powerful character and level up that one powerful character, you'd be done. You'd have no reason to continue to play the game because you've done everything there is to do. And so I would argue that the game is very much set up to be one that you have multiple different characters and they specialize in different things and you use those characters for those different specializations, at least to a certain extent. Otherwise, you kind of break down that whole pretty fundamental aspect that I think they've been trying to encourage people to do, unlocking at least a few extra characters.
By the way, there's one barrier that's still active. Hello. You just ran past me.
Did you get into jail?
Yeah. I went past the box.
I can't break you out. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Die.
Unless we do it this way. Fortunately, it was not a life sentence.
No.
Oh, and then the other, just circling back to that same idea we were talking about before. I mean, now it has become significantly easier to level up your characters because at least once you get to endgame, which, to be fair, it does take a while to complete the whole campaign. So that is absolutely a thing. But once you are there, say you do the entire campaign with one character on normal mode. That's, I think, totally understandable, totally reasonable, and the game totally makes that feasible. But then once you do get to endgame, you get more of these difficult missions that are designed to challenge you. That's where there's more reason to feel like the game is encouraging you and making you kind of need to invest in catalysts and other optimization features. However, once you get there, even if that does take some time and effort to do that, there are a bunch of missions like 400% dungeons that are incredibly efficient for XP and weapon proficiency. The Sigma Sector missions, stuff like that, I mean, you can get a character up to level 40. Like, if you solo the entire campaign with one character on normal, you only unlock your second character once you are at the start of hard mode. Take that new character, bring it into a 400% dungeon, starting from level 1, you hit level 40 in half an hour. Like, that's not that much of an ask.
No.
Once you're at that point,
half an hour is kind of stretching it for how long it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Half an hour does.
The trickiest part is getting through the campaign the first time on normal difficulty.
Yeah. And honestly, I know a bunch of people, myself included, that will help people farm characters. Like, if you want, you know, more variety of characters, you don't have a bunch of time, I will absolutely destroy any boss for you. It's like the end, like once you get like Deathstalker and stuff like that. At that point, I was like, no, bring a fully built-out character to it and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and
like,
I mean
before then, I will drag you through any and all bosses.
And that's another factor as well. Is just, I mean, like, you know, sure, maybe you can't rely on that many people volunteering their time to power level you through things, but they did make a design decision, the developers, to allow you to take whatever level reactor, whatever level external component, and whatever level weapon you want on a character. They are not character specific, they're not level restricted, so if you get to end game, or at least the end of the normal mode of the campaign with a character, and then you create a new character, you can use the same stuff that you were using on that character that you made it through the campaign with. So you don't have to use a level 1 weapon on a level 1 character, level 1 reactor on a level 1 character. And that is a huge difference maker.
Oh, absolutely.
That makes it so that you don't have to, you know, have a Freyna specific weapon per se. I mean, obviously at endgame, that is more so a thing, but just for the sake of, again, sort of lowering that barrier to entry, that helps, having that flexibility. What's up, Makov? How's it going? How are you? We're just doing some First Descendant, and long time no see, yeah. But if I do recall correctly, I think you were doing some First Descendant once upon a time, and you're welcome to hop in if you'd like to. I don't know what the state of the game was when you were last checking in.
I talked to him on my stream a while back, and he said that the last time he played was with us.
Okay.
In October.
Off your game in October, wow. Yeah, so there definitely have been some updates since then in that case. We were just talking about how right now we're kind of waiting for the next big update, but there have been some things in the relatively recent past that have been pretty significant.
Well,
new characters, new missions.
Season 2, Part 1, and Part 2. So.
Did my game just crash? My game did just crash. Also.
Oh.
Hello, Twitch. One moment. Just downloaded some updates last week. There was a relatively small one today. So you might still have some updates if you were to
on the
try to log
PlayStation
on
5,
right now.
it was like over a gigabyte.
Oh yeah, no, come to think of it, yeah, I think it was bigger than I expected it to be. I mean, I looked at the patch notes and thought, oh, this will just be a quick little one. And then it did end up taking longer than I had expected, but I didn't see what the actual number was. It might have been something like that.
It was like 1.2 something gigabytes.
Need to remind yourself how to play first? No worries.
Well, Well, plus there's a bunch of story missions and stuff. I don't think you can join us with a bunch of the stuff we're doing yet.
At least if we were to do like Sigma Sector, or I don't know
Yeah.
about for Purge. Would he be able to?
I think you'd unlock that. I think you just need a mastery level 18.
As for whether you have any core
I don't think
binders
he's done
to
like the
use the
void vessel and
cores.
stuff yet either. So like he hasn't.
Oh.
He doesn't have a dog.
Ooh. No doggo. Okay. Now that. I mean, happy to help you out
yeah.
with farming any of those things.
But he hasn't done like the missions to unlock the void purge, the vessel yet. Void vessel.
I don't remember what those missions were, to be honest with you. Besides, I know there were some in the early stages in which you have to like search through records and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
I think you only have to do that once. Like once you unlock the first set of records, after that you can do it while farming with other people.
I mean, this is kind of going back to what we were talking about before. It's getting through everything the first time is the time-consuming process. Once you've done that, then it's quicker. But there is a fair bit of stuff to do the first time round. That is valid.
They've also changed it so that if you want like a second one of your weapons, you only need to grab the parts, like the parts once. So the second time you, or I should say the sixth time you craft the weapon, it'll be fully leveled.
Okay. I was not sure where you were going with that at first.
Like I craft a second Albion Ancient Knight, and
Yeah.
yeah, I just needed to craft it once, and I got it 4 out of 4, or 5 out of 5. So that's nice. You also don't have to add a core. Like,
Ooh, that
the
is
core
also
binders.
Shall we switch gears to Void Purge now? Since we're back in Albion? And, well, let me remember
The
to
Vulgis can't see me.
re-invite you first.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
in.
There have been definitely several relatively major changes since you've last played, I imagine, Mako. This being the most recent.
Was Deathstalker around when he played?
Probably a boss or two. Probably Gluttony, I imagine, was, but Deathstalker might be new.
Yeah, he did say he played Luna, so Gluttony was around. But
Okay.
he also probably never faced him, simply because at that point he was very hard.
It's a new super boss system. That super boss rotates every few months, but it's sort of like kind of a different category of Colossus fight to a certain extent. New section here. The Void Vessel, which sounds like you may not have done yet, which sort of a unique kind of mission. This stuff, which unlocks, it's structurally pretty similar to other missions, but unlocks a new kind of passive tree with little boosts to things like skill damage, MP, crit, what have you. And then this that we are about to do, which you may not have seen either, which basically is like a dungeon that instead of having lots of little enemies in it, has a slightly smaller number of mini-boss enemies in it. And it gives you a different type of reward at the end, which is a crafting material that can make your weapons especially strong. So that's what we're likely about to hop into here. But yeah, they've been doing a lot of updates. Oh, and we didn't even talk about new characters. That's like mission-wise, the things that they've changed. But there have been some new characters as well. Quickly take a look at that stuff. Let's see, who is new? You got Luna. That means, would he have seen
Target confirmed.
No,
Haley?
he wouldn't have.
This character
So,
might
he
be
doesn't
new.
have the inversions either,
Yeah.
or the 400% dungeons.
Oh, wow. Miss your wife. Well, there's Haley, who's like really good on weapon damage. She's new.
And bossing.
Oh, yeah, bossing. Sort of like a sniper character, although there are other ways to use her as well. There's Keelan,
The void is filled with the unexpected.
who's like a clear speed, movement speed, toxic damage kind of guy. There's Inez, who
Inez,
was
hound you.
unbelievably
Commencing
overpowered.
operation.
Haley was introduced right as you left. Okay.
Okay.
Inez was like ridiculously overpowered in basically every single way,
Except for bossing.
except for bossing. She has been nerfed a little bit since then, but
I still think she's too powerful.
she's still probably too powerful. Then Serena
I will not
is
be
a
afraid.
recent character who can
She was
fly.
definitely too powerful.
Also definitely too powerful. Also primarily weapons damage stuff, where she can just get absolutely absurd amounts of weapon damage. And then most recent, Ultimate Blair, who
So,
is like
what's my
Blair,
role?
except Ultimate.
There's also
Or
Ultimate Sharon.
arsonist?
Would that have been new?
I don't think he's seen Ultimate Freyna.
Why?
Oh. Well, I was just doing Ultimate Sharon in the previous mission.
Ultimate Freyna came out after Ultimate,
Did she?
after
Do as
Haley.
I say, if you want to live.
Well, she's also really strong. So, lots of characters as well. Not seen Ultimate Sharon. Okay. Why don't we hop into a Void Purge?
They also balance changed a lot of characters.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I think Viesa Valby are really good. They're like right under Freyna, and in certain situations, I would much rather them than.
yeah, I mean, this mission right here, I'm deliberately
Yeah.
about to take Ultimate Viesa.
I think Freyna is completely useless in this type of mission, but Valby and Viesa, I think they're both really good.
I forget, did we usually do these public or private?
Private.
Freyna, oh, yeah. I mean, at first, Freyna was very weak. She was buffed and became the strongest character for a little while. And was sort of the one that you could easily point to and say, she's overpowered. And then they released new characters who were even more overpowered. And suddenly Freyna is the one that we're saying is well-balanced. Because things have... the bar has moved.
I don't think I've seen that guy in the first room. Oh, I just got another level up in the season.
Nice. Haley was the meta, but it was a pain to farm her. It did take a while to get the... she takes a little while to
Right,
get the
that was
first time
before
around, but...
the changes. They did make it easier to farm her.
They did, or they did not?
They did.
it's one that you kind of can't brute force, which is a little annoying if that's the way you tend to play the game. Is not that often, but when you do in big chunks, because the types of missions that you can unlock Haley from, you can only do a few times a day.
Well, you can do it in 400% dungeons, but that is a slog.
Wait, is that? Oh, yeah, I
There's
forgot
like certain
that
missions you
technically can give you some Haley stuff. Yeah, no, I would not recommend doing that.
No. Just take your time, do like the dailies and the...
I'll ice you all.
I think next week or maybe the week after, there's going to be another dev stream, so we'll know more about what's coming out in season 3. They're fielding questions ahead of time this time. I think after last time, they decided to ask the questions before the conference.
I'll ice you all.
Just didn't even try getting Haley. That's fair. That's fair. The missions that you get her from do give a lot of gold.
So much gold.
So it is very nice from that standpoint of, you know, if you're just looking at it from a gold standpoint, okay, you're making a lot there, so it feels worthwhile. And then as a bonus, it might also help you unlock a really strong character, even if that may take a little bit of time. And so, even for people who have already unlocked the character, there is still reason to do those missions because they remain one of, if not the best way to get big chunks of gold.
Absolutely the best way.
Oops.
Can you restart the mission while down?
That's a good question. I think I can. Oh, it makes me go down.
But yeah, they did make that grind easier, and if you just, do it, just do the missions as they come out.
But yeah, I get how, especially if, you can't play the First Descendant that many days of the week. It's easiest to unlock her if you at least have, like 20 minutes per day to play First Descendant. Whereas if you have like 2 hours on one day out of the week, then it's still significantly worse because you're limited to a certain number of those missions per day, and so you're basically capped. And as I was saying before, you can't brute force your way into unlocking her. So that's the thing. I get that.
Yeah, when it first came out, like the time bonuses.
Oh.
It was like 1, 2, and 3. Now it's like at the lowest amount you can get is 3.
Yeah, I forgot that it was much stricter at first in terms of how much of the crafting resources it gave you. Whereas, and the mission itself, I think, was harder as well.
Oh yeah, much harder.
They made the mission easier, and they made it, in part, by doing that, much more likely that you're going to get the maximum amount of rewards every time.
And the maximum amount is more too, so.
I forgot about that part.
And if you did want to brute force it, I think her items are some of the ones that you can get pity.
Oh yeah, there's a new system. Relatively new system. Where you can basically say, this is the item that I want to get. And even if it doesn't drop from whatever mission you're doing, it basically, you have a little bar that progresses where if you miss out on that item repeatedly, the game eventually says, all right, you tried hard enough. We'll give it to you after all. We'll guarantee you get it after, you know, however many tries. The rarer the item is, the longer it takes before you get the guaranteed drop, but it is possible to get guaranteed drops in case you're just getting really unlucky with that stuff. Oh, that was you that I just tried to attack? Yeah, exactly. Pity system. Which I don't remember exactly when they added that, but that might be new relative to when you were last playing.
Ooh, 4 green 10s. Oh, and 7 green 9s.
Nice.
Admittedly, I don't need greens as much, but anymore.
Oh, that's the that's Borderlands, right? Borderlands 2?
2, I think so, yeah.
Free on Epic. That I remember, you know, we've many times when people have stopped by while we're playing this game, they've asked, you know, well, what is this game like? And oftentimes I'm trying to find games to compare it to. And usually the comparison people use is Warframe. But I've never played Warframe before, so it's a little hard for me to speak to that comparison. But the other game I would sort of point to is the one that we were just referring to. But the name has now just chosen this moment in time to escape me. Borderlands.
Right, Borderlands, yeah. I've never played it.
I've played it a little bit. More than I've played Warframe, but I've not spent a ton of time on it.
I've thought about it, partly because what words? Fem Army and Silent have been playing it a lot. Silent's been playing 3 and Fem Army's been playing 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about it, but then I was like, but the next one's coming out right away. I might as well wait till the next one comes out at this point. Then again, the current game directors are apparently making some sketchy quotes.
Oh. Okay, I have no knowledge of this.
Well, like, if you were a real fan of this game, you'd pay $80.
Oh, okay. Aren't they, isn't it published by... It's Gearbox were the developers, but isn't it published by 2K, who is, you know, maybe not quite EA level in terms of the microtransactions, but, well, they might be number one at this point.
Have you?
Yeah, and anytime you're comparing yourself to EA, it's not a conversation you want to find yourself in.
No.
But yeah, they probably are trying to use this time to raise the general hype in and around Borderlands in anticipation of the next one. I don't know when the next one is dropping. How soon is it, you know?
Don't know for certain. I think they have a release date. Don't know for certain though. Oh, no, why are you?
Oops.
I'll just kill this guy.
Trying to farm goodwill after some insane oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not up to speed with the comments they've been making. Yeah, talk about gatekeeping stuff, like we were saying earlier. Saying that people need to pay a certain amount of money to be a real fan.
Also not, yeah.
That's, you know, that's pretty good example of that. And to be fair, saying people need to spend a whole lot of time in the game to play it properly is also gatekeeping to an extent, which is why I'm trying to say that I recognize that I am sort of arguing both sides of this.
Well, I'm saying you don't have to play a bunch.
Yeah,
to...
I'm trying to put the nuance there that while it does take some time for sure, especially to clear through the game, through the campaign the first time, once you are at endgame, which yes, that is saying something, but once you are at endgame, it doesn't take that long to get new
I don't
stuff.
think it takes as long anymore either. They did a lot of stuff to make it better for newbies. Like, we were wondering before we were getting like a bunch of catalysts and stuff.
Yeah.
That was all like newbie stuff. That's all like do this normal mission. We just automatically got it because we're well past that point.
Okay. So yeah, you know, First Descendant is definitely, as an MMO, as with most MMOs, is not for the faint of heart when it comes to time commitments. Still would not generally recommend it to people unless you feel like you do have a fair bit of time to sink into it.
Yeah.
But I think that is kind of the case of almost all of the MMO genre. And MMO games where that is not the case are the exception, not the rule. Now, do I like that that's the case? Not necessarily. Would I like for it to be more welcoming, the genre to be more welcoming and easy to play for new people? Yes. But for whatever reason, it's not the way that those games tend to work.
I think if they tried to be more welcoming, like this game's already incredibly welcoming for the genre, and if they tried to be more welcoming, I think you just get away from the genre. You just be a different genre, or you like try to balance between two worlds, and it just wouldn't be either.
And to be fair, sometimes that works. Sometimes that's a way to innovate by mixing different genres, and if being a time gatekeep is a part of the MMO genre, then one could very reasonably argue that that is not a good aspect of the MMO genre, and if anything, you should try to shed that part of the genre's identity. As to whether that is an intended feature or just a side effect consequence of other aspects of the MMOs, then that's another question. Yeah, also, you know, I suppose that the good thing that MMOs have, in many cases, is that, well, they might be free. At least to play initially. Yeah. You know, how truly free to play they are, of course, varies tremendously from one to the next. But that is one way that they are not so gatekeepy. Unlike saying, if you're a real fan, you need to shell out $80.
Destiny 2 is free to play until you want to get any of the DLCs, and then if you want to get all the DLCs, it's like $500.
Oh, yeah. No, that's very different.
It's one thing these developers are like, no, this is going to remain a free to play game. Everything's going to be free to play.
Yeah, like, I mean, on that front, you know, I've played this game a lot over the past almost year, well, if you include betas, basically a year worth of playing it. And I haven't spent any money on it. And we're doing a bunch of end game stuff. So yes, I've sunk a lot of time into it, and that certainly helps, but it is a testament to how the game is, by many, like, can you purchase convenience-related things? Absolutely. So it's not the most free-to-play game in existence, but it's pretty good on that front. Or at least, there are enough horrible offenders on that front that First Descendant is not in that horrible category, and not really anywhere near the $500. Could you spend $500 on this game? Probably. Would any... You would have to go to crazy extents to do that, though, I think. Or, you know, just spend a whole bunch on cosmetics, which are not pay-to-win. And purely for, you know, personal preference. In which case, that's kind of a different story.
Where is the boss? There he
That
is.
guy. Oh, never mind. Not that guy.
Every time I go to shoot someone, you kill them.
Oh. Sorry.
Oh no. I'd rather be less efficient and play while chatting with someone.
This could get messy. It's mine.
Or what I'm hoping next season that the raids, well, this is an or, this is an and. The raids next season are going to be like longer, harder things, but you get like more equipment. Be like, it might not be as efficient as finishing one of the current stuff in like 10 seconds. But it's more fun while doing it. But we'll see. Oh. Defeated the last one. Oh, apparently I defeated enemies by hitting the weak point with an impact weapon.
Well done.
Have I even been aiming at the weak point? I don't know.
I mean, sooner or later, it'll happen, I suppose. Whether you intend to or not. Oh, I thought I was pressing the dodge button, and then proceeds to walk straight into him as he's spawning in with all those enemies because I just focused in on the health pack. What button did I press instead of dodge? No. How about we do one more of these and then maybe either swap back to Sigma Sector or just mix it up with something else? 400% or whatever?
Sure.
Just for variety's sake.
honestly, the current $70 thing, like, or $80 Canadian, is already making me go, okay, I'm not, unless if it's a game I know, like I know the franchise and I love the franchise, I'm not buying it full price.
And this is Borderlands. The game
Well,
price around
every
this?
game right now at full
That's
price
just sort
is
of
like,
the going price.
yeah, but there are several hints that it's going to increase to $80 soon. And that was why he said what he said, because...
Okay, kind of trying to prepare people for a game with a higher selling price?
Yeah.
I see. Okay. That makes sense. Or at least I understand why he's saying that, not that I agree with him.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, that's what... I'm getting the invisible one again. Like, I'm standing right next to these guys, spamming my Q skill, my 1, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. That is not the first time that's happened. Glancing down to see if it was because it was on cooldown or something, but it's my fastest skill to come off cooldown. And I'm standing there on several occasions for several seconds with nothing happening. So I don't think that was the cause. Oh, greens. Nice. Greens and yellows. Okay. Alright, so shall we head back?
Sure.
Let's see where we stand on the core front.
I'm still making more greens.
If it's about weapons, you come and talk to me.
So these are the new crafting resources. You obviously saw us picking up a bunch of these from the previous mission. Each color can give a different variety of stats. So some colors tend to be much more effective than others. Green and yellow typically being the most useful. For weapon fire rate, you can craft with this, and then movement speed and or grappling hook cooldown time you can get with the yellows. And then if we actually try doing some of that crafting, let's see, which one I actually...
Oh, I have a 17% fire rate, and I got a 17% fire rate.
Darn it. Alright, so like weapons have typically 4 slots where you have to use a specific color, and then 1 slot where you have the freedom to choose whichever color you'd like. And so in some cases, weapons have become much stronger relative to other weapons just based on the 4 colors that you are locked into. So like, for example, Last Dagger has 2 green specific sockets for fire rate, which makes it good, even if it
It was
not...
actually quite good even before then.
Yeah, they did buff it. I mean, there was a time when it
good.
was atrocious.
Oh yeah.
So then it can give a few different things, and you choose between keeping the existing roll or the new one, and in this case we're just looking for something higher on fire rate. In fact, we should probably try to get our free slot to give us fire rate, since it is not yet doing that, except now it is. That's very nice. And so is that, 2 18% fire rates in a row. And then an 11.
I just used 31 green cores, and 17% was the highest I got. And I already had it.
Well, now I'm going to drop my headphones on the table / microphone in the loudest way possible just to break all of your eardrums. You're welcome. I'm sorry. Obviously, I did not intend to do that. Going to say I probably used up all of my luck there. Okay, we'll get slightly more fire rate. Okay, so now this is actually looking a lot better on the Last Dagger all of a sudden. Go.
Yeah, I think that's Glay's best weapon.
With the orange one, between firearm attack and Colossus damage, where do you... obviously, if it's a Colossus weapon, then makes more sense to...
Even then, I would actually... There's quite a few cases where firearm attack is actually better.
Mm-hmm.
Even versus Colossus. It's just how they calculate it. Depends on what modules and stuff you put on. I would say you can't go wrong with firearm attack.
Okay. I think we have pretty significantly upgraded our Last Dagger here. These are all pretty solid rolls here. Not perfect, of course, but not bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my restored relic up.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure I've done anything on that front yet. Oh, no, I did. Okay. Oh. Yeah. I did. Not that these are the types of stats I was looking for. So this is mostly a Glay weapon, right? Which means anything...
And Serena.
And Serena. Okay, so for Serena, ammo stuff is
No.
maybe slightly relevant,
You
but
just
still.
want fire rate.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what descent you use.
Yep.
You just want fire rate.
So rounds per magazine, reload time modifier, and reload time modifier all being yellow is,
No.
even if they're high tier rolls,
No.
does not
Rounds
matter.
per magazine is meh, but like no, you just want 3 fire rate.
Yup. Yup. What about attribute status effect trigger rate?
Why'd you have chill? I guess for the purge, but like, just go fire. You're going to use it for mobbing. You're not going to tailor your mobbing weapon for each individual. Plus, right now, the meta place to use it is actually versus Ice Maiden. So you don't want fire anyways. But fire is pretty big for it simply because of its unique stuff, so I just go all in on fire.
Alright, well now at least there's fire rate across the board. Low fire rate, but it's better than what we had previously. Even if technically this is a lower rarity tier, the stat in general is far superior. Oh, right. I do need to choose one of those. That is true. Okay.
Yeah, next time you'll play with it, you'll notice a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean now this is a lot more fire rate than it had previously. Still a lot of room to improve, but oh, that's
curious.
Nice. Okay. Now this is becoming not so bad. Now this is becoming not so bad. Okay. Might settle on that for now. Oh, the stats on my restored relic, just from a weapon mod standpoint, are pretty horrible. Well, I have crit rate. Is that even a max?
No, you don't use crit on it anyways.
Yep, I think all of these are getting scrapped, unless for some weird reason you actually do want one of the enemy types. For the Void Purge,
No.
there was a time when you could make the case for it, but no.
They made it too easy for that now.
Okay. Element-wise, what is the element of preference? You said fire?
Yeah, simply because it already does fire damage to do its unique stuff, so...
I feel like I want hip-fire accuracy here on the weapon that automatically heat-seeks. That seems like the most important thing.
I keep getting gold rounds per magazine. I got gold rounds per magazine 3 times in a row.
It's almost a perfect electric attack roll. Almost high enough to tempt me to keep it, but no. Shouldn't do it. Start with the most important piece. Out of curiosity, because I'm not used to seeing this. Multi-hit chance on restored relic.
That's good.
That is worth considering.
Very good.
It's one off
Honestly, both
max.
of the multi-hits.
0.1 off max. Probably
both
still
of the multi-hits is
trying to
really
get
good.
Oh. Well, I didn't lock it in, but it did give me exactly the same roll. Oh, explosive attack. Okay, but I'm trying to get specifically max rolls here. Okay, don't need to do this and like min-max our weapons right here, right now, although that might have... This is a max roll. Okay, so we would lock that. Mostly just trying to make it not be as awful as possible, which it arguably was at first.
I think I've showed my build on your Discord.
I can't remember that a while. Now, times may have changed since then, because multi-hit chance is relatively new, but...
I think I've done it since then, too.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, there's 2 different builds for it. One for Serena, one for Glay.
Could potentially lock that in. It's not. Could be higher. So what? Explosive attack is probably the thing we're most looking for.
Yeah, I've got explosive attack, fire attack, and then the 2 multi-hits, multi-hit damage and chance.
Ooh. Not quite. Keep on giving me the hip fire accuracy. It's not what I'm looking for.
I was looking at the record for the Ice Maiden.
Mm-hmm. What fraction of a second is it at now?
3 seconds.
Okay.
That's Serena's. Ajax, 37 seconds. I'll skip Fiesta for now, because I think it's quite funny. Enzo, 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Eugen's like 9 minutes, but there's only 2 records on there.
Oh, wow. Let's go set a Eugen record. He says about
Bunny,
the one character he doesn't have.
Bunny is just under a minute, 59 seconds. Glay is 49 seconds. Haley is 2 minutes, 22 seconds.
Wow, that surprises me a bit.
Ice.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Valby is 16 seconds.
Wow.
Valby's really good. I think you're really underestimating.
I just haven't played her for a really long time, so
Yeah.
it may not be anything against her. It's just for whatever reason.
Sharon's 34 seconds. Although it doesn't take very long for it to get very much higher. So I don't think a whole lot of people are, playing her. Inez is a minute 35 seconds. Lepic's 19 seconds.
Wow, good for Lepic.
Yeah. Blair is 46 seconds. Although it goes right to a minute 24 after that. Kyle is 6 seconds.
Nice.
He can one-shot him, or Ice Maiden. Like, you break one of the shoulders, and the skill power that gives you is enough to one-shot. Freyna's minute 13. Keelan's 49 seconds.
That surprises me a bit.
Not really. Keelan's better at single target than Freyna for like continuous damage.
I don't know if I've ever tried Keelan for single target.
Ultimate Blair. Okay, so I looked at Blair before, but this is Ultimate Blair's 25 seconds. They do that and have that in a weird order. Luna's a minute 4 seconds.
That's a little surprising. If that's hot, that high, or that fast.
Not really. She's actually really good for like. I think her skill damage is actually pretty good.
Noise surge, or?
Yeah. Jaber is a minute 41.
That's kind of surprising.
Honestly, for skill damage, yeah. SMO is 14 seconds. Yeah, I'm not looking at the base version for any of the characters that have ultimates.
That is fair.
And then Ultimate Viesta is 6 minutes 23 seconds.
Wow. Oh, well, again, cold. Or chill.
Yeah. And then the next highest is 7 minutes 34 seconds. And then it goes above 8 And then above 9 right after that.
Okay. I will stop continuously pressing this button, throwing away money, and crafting materials to get nothing in return.
Have you even built it yet?
Yeah, I might have one more catalyst I could put into it. I think it's at 40, so even if that is the case, I can then apply that immediately. Alright, well, anyways, there's our little crafting session. What would we like to do next? Do we want to go... I mean, we talked about Ice Maiden. We could pop in for a little bit of that if you'd like.
Willing to try it. I think it would be much better with Blair this time. Let's see, do I have a good reactor for...
Oh, yeah, I still don't
Bossing?
have a preset for Blair, and I don't know how well I have him set up for Colossus fights. So I might be going Serena here.
Well, the thing is, gun damage Serena actually isn't very good.
Right, that's why I say that, acknowledging that it's not ideal.
What the people actually do is that they take a shotgun, and the shotgun doesn't have to be well built or anything.
Oh,
like that.
right, I remember you saying this.
And while you're flying, hit the enemy while you're flying.
Either that or I could play Lepic for the first time in months.
That would work.
His reactor definitely is not ideal, but it can be upgraded to become much better.
Right, I also need to change his, need to put,
Gosh.
killer recipe on.
I could not tell you when the last time I played this character was. Yeah, I mean, I think cooldown Colossus damage. I mean, that's what you would want, right? That's worth upgrading that, even if it needs a little
would
more
say
love.
Tech Colossus or...
Tech Colossus? I think I must have something like that somewhere.
Tech Colossus or crit damage Colossus. Depending on the Colossus and their,
Cooldown, crit damage, cost, let me see. Let me see.
God, I have so many different mods. I'm trying to find one to upgrade it. It's not working.
There we go. Colossus crit damage, you think basically the idea being hit once, hit hard, rather than trying to hit multiple times with
Yeah.
his 4, because it has such a long cooldown.
Yeah.
Okay. It would require changing the weapon as well, but... I mean...
You can also just add.
let's do
Honestly,
it.
the biggest thing for Lepic is
Oh, wait,
just to have impact weapon and there's killer weapon and killer recipe. I'd have to go into my Lepic build to...
Where did it go?
Yeah, you need
Oops.
4 mods. Nope. 2 mods on your Lepic gun.
Oh, yeah.
And preferably to be a green ammo type. Just sharp precision shot and fire rate.
Oops, that's not what I meant to do.
I also have some ammo stuff, like rounds per magazine stuff, but that's because I use it on Freyna as well.
Beef up this reactor. Double check, this is the one we want. Yes, okay.
Still don't have a great reactor.
Now it's that, and you're saying in terms of the weapon type we would like to have the it's been so long since I did Lepic, because you have a secret garden which does give you passive stuff there, but the weapon mods you have on your weapon does affect your 4. So I forget what the
so just fire
sequencing
rate.
is there.
Fire rate.
But so, does that mean you only care about that non-secret garden weapon? Is secret garden basically just there for mobbing and not for bossing?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So in that case, yeah, we want... green is the ideal type, you said?
Yeah.
What can I sacrifice to make that a thing? This is sacrificable. Hand cannon is green, right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I actually specifically used the it's a hand cannon, perforator, because it has 12% fire rounds per magazine, and I used the same thing on my Freyna.
Mm-hmm.
So I just end up using that for everything, you know, Freyna, Lepic, Haley, you know, anyone that cares about rounds per magazine or fire rate just for the skill. Let's enhance this reactor. It's not the greatest reactor, but it's something. And I have so many materials.
So I'm basically looking for any and everything that can boost fire rate, is that right?
There's only 2 things. Just the fire rate and sharp precision shot.
I feel like there are some clever things that were more indirect that I had once tried to put on for Lepic, for a weapon of a similar purpose, but don't remember what those were. Technically, we could check. I think it was Final Masterpiece was the one that I was doing that on, so we could see what's on that. What does that do? It gives you more firearm attack with each level? Doesn't even matter? Wait. While pulling trigger... It's just the fire rate part from sharp precision shot that you care about, right? Technically, you don't even need to upgrade it. I mean, I could, but... I think technically, unupgraded still works? And if we refer back to you... Oh. Colon Special Forces. Maybe. If you can fit it, then why not? That one, we may stand to benefit.
I think you actually do want to upgrade it, because it increases how quickly it increases your fire rate.
Is that all those stats that... Yeah. For some reason, I thought that was only the attack boost, but I think you're right. I think that's all of those things. They get boosted.
Yeah, I think the only thing that doesn't change is the negative effect.
Then you throw on colon just because I think that may be more or less the only thing that may give you the slightest of quality of life improvements. Maybe there's one or two other things, but... Can you get multi-hit on Lepix 4?
No.
You sure?
That would be so powerful.
That'd be unbelievably busted.
Not as powerful as getting fire rate cores on the 4.
Oh, man. Wait, does that count?
No.
Okay.
Cores don't work for unique weapons.
Okay. Maybe that is for the best. Oh, and that also...
Do you want to hear the calculations?
Wait.
If you had...
Oops.
If you could get 15 shots with Lepic, which isn't the meta is like 19 shots on the Lepic. You can actually increase that to 96 shots.
Yeah, that's kind of insane. I don't even want to do that. Then you go here.
What's
Then
your
you
Lepic built like?
Theoretically, he was built as a bossing character once upon a time. I can't tell you how efficient or effective that actually was, but maybe we're about to find out.
Yeah.
Oh, he also doesn't have any arcade tuning, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I might build him out for some arcade tuning and stuff too.
Alright, well, shall we give it a shot?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like level 39. I've literally just need 200 more arcade tuning for my player.
I'm level 1 arcade tuning with him. As I said, I've not played him in months. But here goes nothing.
I'm not sure how well Dangerous Ambush will be. It might be good. Yeah, wait. Well, one, you know how to roll into it, right?
Yeah. I remember that.
Wait until I pop a bunch of its shoulders and stuff.
Do those stack? Should I wait for one or should I wait for multiple?
I'm just going to fire one.
One volley.
Yeah. I think I messed up. Let's try that again. Okay, why aren't they locking on? I have the wrong stuff on, I think.
Oh.
Oops.
I mean, it looked like a restored relic.
Restored relic, yeah, I'm about to die. I got frozen.
Damn.
But no, I've got like the wrong modules and stuff on.
Oh. Ow.
Damn it!
Okay, I've basically done nothing at this point. Should I just break out? Do we want to restart, or is it?
Yeah, maybe we could restart.
Okay.
Are you trying to die?
Yes.
Oh, I was just going. We can go back to Albion.
That works too.
I was hoping to go back to Albion because I need to change my mods.
I think... Does that break us up in the lot? Oh, I might be able to do this.
Well, we
I
can
don't
try it.
know if this does
Nope,
just
we're
me or
both
you.
going to
Okay.
Albion. Yeah, I upgraded the mod and then didn't put it on.
Oh, I see.
I could also change a bunch of my mods too. But now that we're not going for like speed or anything like that, so it should be fine.
Okay. You good to go?
Yeah.
All right. First try.
Oh, you don't have maximize MP on your.
I don't think I do, no.
Oh, that's bad for Lepic.
Oh.
To tell you the truth. Yeah, Lepic really wants that maximize MP.
Now it's locking on a little bit more. I feel like you're gonna know better than I will when...
Oh, you can go.
Oh, okay. Stop hitting me with the icicles.
I got frozen. I'm about to die. Oh.
Oh, yep, and my damage does not seem to be that good. I also got frozen and killed.
Where are you? Oh, right beside me. Oh, I'm about to die.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, last death tank already. Jesus.
It would help if I did. Oh, this is like the conversation we were having earlier. Where this is basically a super dead bride. And, hitting her with Lepix 4 is a little bit of a pain. I should have put a better weapon on for pure damage, despite what that pop-up just told you.
Oh, I don't think I broke stuff until just now. I'm getting much more damage now.
Yeah, I got a pop-up that time saying that we got a damage buff, but I don't remember having seen that before. Except right now my 4 is on cooldown, so there's not a lot I can do to capitalize on that, unfortunately. Oh.
Oh, I am very close to dead.
I can see that. I am unfortunately not that much healthier than you are right now. With one death count remaining, it's not a situation that we really want to find ourselves in.
There we go. I got some health.
Got a little bit, but I'm probably about to lose that back. I do have my 4 back. For what it's worth. There we go. There's some health.
Oh. Oh, I broke her out of it.
Ooh, nice. Not bad to do it now. Oh, I did it with the wrong weapon out. That's what I get for swapping back and forth. I could try, but she is also about to do that, which may or may not be a good thing.
Get your shit together.
Oh, please don't hit me.
I think we're about to finish her now.
There we go.
Once I got into the groove of it, Blair was really good.
Nice. Yeah, it's tough with Lepic, where especially if it's a huge difference maker, the timing on the 4. If you mess that up, it's a long and painful wait before you get it back. So I think I was not doing very much for that reason.
Well, we can compare our damage numbers.
I can already tell you, it is next to 0.
I did just over 2 billion.
Yeah. I probably did next to 2 million.
Yeah, the restored relic's just not locking on.
So now I know we get that little pop-up on the screen when that happens. Okay, so now, I do this. Theoretically, our damage is much better. And I may have destroyed the Colossus part as well. Okay,
Oh, we've got 3 parts.
and I'm out of mana. That's okay. That time I actually did get the timing I was looking for on the 4.
Yeah, and that's also why you want more. You want max mana.
Yeah. That's where having some arcade tuning points of any variety, of any quantity, would be helpful.
Well, I was more thinking the components. Oh, you want to get out?
Yep. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh!
I might just abandon.
Yeah, I have 0 health, and somehow I'm alive. So, I don't think I can get to you. Hold on.
Oh,
Don't ask me how I did that, because I don't know.
where are you? Oh, I am out of mana.
I am close to getting the 4 back, but oop, I could use some mana as well. Mana. Life.
There we go.
Could kill some of the ads, but that would potentially require spending right. There we go, okay. But still not full. Oh, this is a little bit inconvenient timing. Do this, and do this. Okay.
Yeah, she's fun.
Is Blair the best character you've used against her thus far?
Yeah.
Shall we go again? Do we want to...
Up to you.
Well, let's do one more, I suppose.
Oh, by the way, the New York one.
The New York one?
New York one against the Pacers.
Sorry, hit me with the non sequitur. I thought you were saying that there was a New York version of something in game, and I was like, what? What does that mean?
Okay, not one broke. That's... Luckily, Blair's skills can break them.
Oh.
There, I got one.
Okay. On. May have missed all these. I don't know. Side already broken? I think it is. That is now no longer the case, but... Oh, I picked a bad side to go on.
Yeah, I'll just abandon. Or, I guess it won't be up for very long.
I might be able to get to you. Hold on. This doesn't last that long.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not ideal. How am I alive? Uh-oh. I definitely... Hold on. Hold on. So you're saying there's a chance. That doesn't help. Oh, dear.
I probably should just abandon. Oh, I thought she was activating her, Oh, come on!
Oh, I have one mana. I don't need to be doing this. Oh. Hold on. Did it not give us the pop-up on later times when you break the components?
I don't even know what pop-up you're talking about. I only see the like it gives a number for how many components you broke.
Oh, I've been looking at sort of in the center of the screen, a little bit below the middle. You get a little text that pops up when you break a part that says something along the lines of, you get a damage bonus when you destroy one of the
I never
components.
got that.
So
I
that
never got
was...
that once.
I didn't realize that the first time around. The second time around, I used that as my prompt for when to use the 4. And then this time round, I did that the first time, but then it did not give that same pop-up. It only did that pop-up once per match, so I wasn't sure after that whether you had broken any components or not. So I was waiting for the pop-up, and it just never came.
There's a green little box that shows you all
Yeah,
the
one of the
damage
buff
bonuses
ones,
and stuff.
little buff boxes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those.
Okay.
And it shows you, it tells you like how many you've broken.
Okay. That's probably the best way to do it then. Because toward the end there, I was like, I'm pretty sure I heard you destroy one or more of those parts, but I didn't get the text.
I never once got that message. So
Interesting. It's not that big, so there's a chance you just missed it, but I don't know. And maybe it's on PC only. I have no idea. You know, as I said, even for me, it showed up sometimes, it didn't show up other times, so I have no idea how that is programmed to work. Alright. What if we...
where will I be sent?
Oh.
I want to know where I'll be sent.
Hello there.
Oh, I'm sent here. That's boring. No prison? That's boring.
Alright, alright. Why don't we head back then? Okay. So, that's a little bit of the Ice Maiden action. And, I mean, if we're just trying to check off various things today... Oh, I don't know what this is for. Oh. Okay. Sure. We've done Sigma Sector. We've done Ice Maiden. We've done some Void Purge. We could do some 400% if you'd like. We could go back to Sigma Sector. We could do some
I'm up for anything.
Void Vessels. Haven't done that in a long time.
Not for a long, long time. I'll wait until they bring out another fellow.
Yeah. I imagine it won't be that long before we'll have reason to farm them up a bit more again. Alright. Maybe we circle back for a little bit more Sigma Sector.
Okay, who do I want to bring? I'll take Blair for like a normal, you know, the easier Sigma Center sometime and get that last 200% and maybe get a weapon part of that one weapon I don't have. What do I want?
Want to do the normal then?
No. I can do that on my own time sometime. I still need to farm that one weapon.
Truly deadly arson. Oh, I guess we did do a lot of those. It's like, oh, that went up faster than I expected it to. Okay, you good to go?
While you're doing that, I'll get some cores. See if I can get a higher sprint speed.
Oh, okay.
I'm not actually expecting to get a higher one. I'm at 18%, trying to get to 20.
Oh. That is tough. Okay. Now let's load in.
Blew through all my cores, didn't get anything.
Oof. I mean, to be fair, as we were saying, you had a high bar you were trying to clear.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting anything. Mind you, I had like 40 cores earlier for fire rate, and I didn't get anything there. That's a little bit more annoying.
Yeah.
This is Hound Action, reporting extreme concentrations of void energy within the operation zone. All units, please proceed at your own discretion, but do not exceed your limits.
But even for these things, I think Freyna is kind of actually already balanced because there's a lot of, you know, yellow bars in the middle. Like, I could take care of 2 of the enemies, but other than those 2...
has dropped a wide-ranged shaping charge on the ground. We need it to purify the void energy. Prime the detonator with your RK, then hit the detonation device.
We did have the stream crash in a relatively strange way, and so I'm not entirely sure when that happened. So we may have lost a lot of stuff, and I'm not really sure for that reason. I mean, we did what? We did Sigma Sector.
I think it was just the Sigma Center.
Yeah.
Maybe towards the end of one of the Void Vessel bosses, but I think it was just the Sigma Center.
Okay, so yeah, we had done Sigma Sector, then Void Purge, then a few Void Intercept battles, and then we went back for one Sigma Sector mission, which may or may not have been where things went awry, in which case we didn't miss much, but I can't say that definitively. So that's, at a broad level, what we were doing. Hopefully, you guys didn't miss much, but I'm afraid there's unfortunately, no, can't change that now. So, I mean, we can hop back in, I guess. It's okay. Nothing amazing happened in that most recent Sigma Sector mission. I mean, Big Country found the cure for cancer and I won the lottery, but other than that, nothing big.
Keelan's another character I kind of want to build. Like, do arcade tuning for.
This is Hound Action.
I've got a lot of arcade tuning left.
Void storm is intensifying.
It is pretty
Conditions
time
are
consuming.
unfavorable. Proceed with
I
caution.
still wish it was quicker on that front. That feels like something that could be better balanced in terms of the whole, you know, if you are truly supposed to play several characters, then it should not take this long to level all of them up in that way.
A specialized Vulgis aircraft has appeared over the operation zone. Blasted out of the sky.
I
It may
decided
be
to
one.
activate my 4.
Tactical transport en route to the Descendant's position. Close air support available. Danger close. I repeat, danger close.
Pretty cool, yeah?
No, don't move. Where's him trying to throw a grenade at you? Don't appreciate that. Okay, now we use the 4 on this guy. If he doesn't run away. Or become immune almost immediately thereafter.
Mission complete. All units proceed to transport location. Great work out there.
Okay, well, at least we have a point for Lepic now. For arcade tuning. It's something.
Right, you wouldn't have more than that because it's not the daily right now.
Yeah. He has not gotten any Sigma Sector love yet. Or at least, not until just now. Lepic. And he was, to be honest, probably not going to be next on the list anyway. So, well, kind of out of luck in that regard, Lepic is.
Have you done Blair yet?
I think I did, yeah. Because I knew that Ultimate Blair was coming out, so I, in anticipation of that, started doing it for normal Blair. So it didn't take that much longer, and then I did it for a bunch of other characters who I still haven't played very much of. Like, I did it for Luna, and then I did it for Jaber. Jaber reached 40 before Lepic reached level 2, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah, Lepic.
Reporting
Jaber, I
concentrations of void energy within the operation
don't
zone.
see me
All
using
units,
anytime
please
soon.
proceed at your own discretion, but do not exceed your limits.
A specialized Vulgis aircraft has appeared over the operation zone. Blast it out of the sky.
This might even be, almost certainly is, the first time I've played Lepic since he got buffed a little while back.
Right, I forgot he got buffed.
I think some of his stuff got pretty significantly buffed.
Yeah.
I think his 1 is much stronger now, if I remember correctly.
Descendant, air support is standing by. On your
I'm going to have to
signal,
try him
initiate
out
suppressing fire.
again.
Look out above.
Oh, don't fly.
Operation completed. Awaiting transfer to transport position. Well done, Descendant.
Have you got any of the boxes today?
I have not, no. Unless I got one
you
at the
still
very
on-
beginning without realizing it, but I don't think so. No.
Are you still on the... in the 400%?
What about 400%?
Are you still on the one that you got in the 400%?
Oh,
Like, do you
yeah,
just have one, or
I
did you
have
get
it. I
some
haven't
during the
used
week?
it. Yeah. I forgot
I was more
that's-
wondering if you got some during the week.
No, I don't think so. I haven't. Just sitting on the one. Were you trying to... I saw an icon floating overhead. Were you trying to go to jail?
Was yeah, I went to jail.
Flying jail.
This is Hound Action, reporting extreme concentrations of void energy within the operation zone. All units, please proceed at your own discretion.
Oh, this is the first time in a while that we actually started a new spot.
Yeah, we had a bunch of them in the same location.
Oh, they also increased the module drop rate now.
Descendant, we're detecting arcane life signs in
They're like
In-
100% drop now.
In these missions specifically?
No, and like, for like Transcendent mods and like nearly all of them throughout the worlds.
Oh. No, I did not actually want to climb up on that. I just want to go fast.
Unseen.
For it. Oh, I thought I could do this. Now I have. Damn it! Oh, that is not a button that I even knew did that.
That's left.
Yeah, I'm just running through opponents and having the puddles do the job. Of course, I'm absolutely useless once this guy comes along and my core's on cooldown.
Tell me about it.
Hound Action to HQ. Mission complete. Requesting transport support.
Alright. I probably can do just one more and then I'll need to call it a night, I imagine.
Okay.
is Hound action to all personnel. Void storm is intensifying.
You're purposely
Conditions
trying to go
are
the wrong way, aren't
No,
you?
no one followed me.
Over.
To be fair, I did hesitate, because at first I did start going the right way. I was like, well, maybe I'll try one more time. Needed to be a little quicker with it, though. There were also 0 enemies over there. Take this. I feel like I'm also getting Lepix 1 just disappearing sometimes. Maybe it's that I just keep on throwing it where enemies either don't exist or are already dead, but feels like maybe every once in a while I'm getting the same effect we saw on VS. I would at least expect it to explode. Even if there's nothing there. Does it not even explode?
Wide-ranged shaping charge job complete. Begin the void energy purification operation.
I am a little behind.
Prime the detonator with your arc.
Oh.
Then activate the remote detonation device.
No worries.
My inventory was full.
Ah, okay. We do have to come to a natural, slower point here anyway. Oh. Totally meant to do that. Definitely was not trying to do that.
Deploying arcade.
Or have the game crash.
Oh, yeah, you left the mission.
Right as we were about to finish it, right as I was saying that was probably going to be my last one. It feels silly, kind of silly booting back up to do one more now, but on the other hand, I don't want to end on that note. That's so unfortunate. I guess we can do one more.
Okay, well, we're almost done this one.
Okay. I mean, by the time I load in, I'm sure you guys will be all set.
Okay, moving back to Albion.
Okay. Should be loading in momentarily.
Oh my god, I didn't realize the, Have you ever got the new backpack from, like, the new Ice Maiden?
I think so. Like the back attachment?
Yeah. It is adorable. I just saw it on someone else. And oh my god, that's so adorable.
I don't know if I've actually looked at... Oop, wrong spot.
Like, it will do,
What
like, a bunch
animations?
of...
Let's see. Actually, it zooms in more on this page. Come on. Do your thing. Oh. And then it gets dizzy. I didn't see that. Doesn't feel like a Lepic one, but definitely use it on a different character. Unless you're going for that contrast, the fire character with the shield boss. But most of my chill characters are already fully arcade up.
Oh, that's why my inventory's still full. The moving fortress stuff, which is very useless.
Hmm. What?
What?
I'm afraid we cannot
Maybe
start. I did try to initiate the mission before you had fully loaded in, but the game did say that we were not going to be able to do a Sigma Sector mission because some party members were not far enough along in the game to do it. So I think the game got a little confused. Now that you are fully loaded in, the game is fine with sending us here.
that's good.
Melt away.
Troops are on the ground. Transport ship will remain on standby for air support.
That was an opportunity.
Good luck, Descendants.
I could have had it on that one.
Specialized Vulgis aircraft detected. That aircraft is used to fly through void zones. It must be shot down.
These guys, oh, was hiding.
Large
I
Vulgis
don't
presence
hear
confirmed in the
Luna's
operation
music
zone.
at all.
Descendant.
Strange.
On your signal.
Oh, I just barely at the end heard the explosions from the airstrop too.
I think the sound is just generally bugging out a bit on this mission for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hear any of the music audio for Luna. Which is usually very audible. Oh, I did not realize he was chasing after me.
Hound actual to HQ. Mission complete. Requesting transport support.
Okay.
Over here.
Fortunately...
Nope, that's not wanted.
Oh? What are they pointing to?
No, that was me.
What are you pointing to?
There is something you can do so that you can have your target items come up onto the screen, but I forget what it was.
Indeed.
Ah, there we go. I don't know what it is for you guys, but for me it's L1 and the right arrow. And I
Okay.
can see what my... So I got like... I have 2 spoil box and my spoil box is at 40%.
That's you on PC. At least by default. Unfortunately, we were at least able to finish that one without the game crashing or any other strange technical issues happening besides our inability to hear Luna. But given how we've been going for a while and it is fairly late at this point, I do think it probably makes sense to wrap things up here. There's a chance we have, like, I don't know, something. Let's take a look at an ace, see if there's anything research-wise before we wrap up altogether.
That is a good point. Hopefully see you tomorrow. I haven't been feeling very good this week, so...
Oh, okay. Rest up in that case. That takes priority. For sure.
If there's something you need, you'll need to pay.
Oh. Something that's good in 8 minutes. The game is trying to tempt me. Come
I've
on.
only been making like
Vids.
1 a day.
Hi there. What can I help
I
you?
haven't been doing a whole lot. I haven't farmed for them for ages.
Yeah, right?
How many do I have? Less than you, I have 51.
I mean, that's still plenty.
Yeah. And I've been using them quite often, you know, weapons and
Yeah, you've
fixing some characters.
definitely used a lot more than I have. And if you have a decent backlog, I mean, it's going to take you a while before you can blow through 51 catalysts. And in that time, you could potentially craft up a few more catalysts. So
Yeah.
the bigger the backlog is, the more time it buys you, even if you are thinking you're about to use a whole bunch of them.
And they've been giving them so many. Like,
Yeah,
I got...
there's a whole
I got-
bunch more they're giving as well.
Yeah, I got 2 today just from the... yesterday and today's daily.
Yeah. Few days, there'll be another one. Then a few more days after that, you get a couple. Another one.
At day 11 I get
And
another one. Day
another
14,
one.
2.
There's a lot. That's also one. That's 2. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them they're giving out for these daily logins. So they definitely add up quickly just from that alone.
Yeah. I definitely want to get the 28 just so I can get more hair. Whenever you get free skin stuff, kind of want to get it as soon as possible. Like, it's not as soon as possible, but you want to get the free, you know, skin stuff.
I want all the colors. I like how they organized this one. The rainbow paint selection box. That was clever.
I didn't see that. That is actually quite clever.
Yeah, is that the cosmetics on the last spot, the natural blonde hair braids? Is that for one specific character? If so, I'm not entirely sure who that is.
I think that's Serena.
Is it? Might be. Oh, you know what? The armor looks like Serena.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Yeah. That if...
I'm actually quite excited for this weapon skins.
Yeah. Remember, that's
Day 14.
not something that is easy to come by for in terms of free rewards. Or at least, you know, there are ones from the Battle Pass Battle Supply shop, but they only just recently started including ultimate weapons in that. For a while, it was just rares, and those, you know, are probably not things you were using all that often. So actually usable weapon cosmetics. That's pretty nice.
Oh, and also for the weekly challenge, I got 4 today. 4 out of 6 came out this week.
Wait, the weekly challenge?
If you go to the Battle Pass,
Oh, within Battle
and then
Pass.
go to
Okay.
challenge,
Gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
and then go to challenge.
Oh. Okay. I guess so.
Oh, and you got. Or how did you defeat so many more Order of Truth enemies than I did?
I don't know. I
That
couldn't
makes
tell you.
no sense.
Could not tell you. The individual, or the 3 categories of enemies do not really have that much of an individual identity to me. Besides, oh yeah, these guys blow up sometimes. Oh, these guys, I mean, beyond that, like, maybe if I think back to when it was just 3 zones, Kingston, Sterile Land, and Vespers, is like, oh, I kind of can think of which enemies used to be here, which enemies used to be here, and which enemies used to be here, but now since they added the new zones, and yeah, they didn't really create zone-specific categories for these guys, so they all just sort of blurs together at that point.
Yeah, I only cared about for the Purge.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
If it's new
Section
research,
2 of the Hard
Honestly.
Purge is Order of Truth.
Oh, yeah. Like we were talking about before on the weapon mods, like maybe in some niche circumstances, getting the damage bonuses for the particular enemy type for Purge might be relevant, but outside of that, yeah, not so much.
humanity is
And when is the
That's
the
why humans
update?
need us so desperately.
We have a date for the season 3, right?
It's at the end of the Battle Pass, so the Battle Pass
that makes
has
sense.
20 days and 2 hours remaining.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, I suppose, actually, along those lines, I should note, given how, as we were sort of talking about today, there aren't that many things for us to do right now in-game that are new and exciting beyond just grinding some things that take a lot of grinding, like trying to get every character up to arcade tuning level 40, and the never-ending quests to get as many weapon cores as you can get. It's, you know, we've been doing that for a while now, of course, and so
Yeah.
we may, or at least I may, slow down a bit on the First Descendant streams until we get more big updates, and may either do other games in the usual First Descendant stream slot during that time period while we're waiting, or just grind other games a little bit more in the meantime, since it's a little bit hard to juggle all the various games that we're doing nowadays and make significant progress in them in between streams. So that
Yeah,
may
the
be
PoE
something.
2 really screwed with the schedule, right?
It's more so time spent on First Descendant made it very difficult to make any progress in PoE 2. So, like, in all likelihood, by spending less time in First Descendant, I could invest more time in PoE 2, which right now is the game that's sort of like, well, we're doing a few hours of it on stream and then basically nothing or next to nothing in between streams, which is not ideal.
Ideal, especially since that's your game. PoE is your game.
I mean, it's another MMO that requires a fair bit of time to make good I mean, the more time you put into it, the more progress you can make. So that's definitely something that you feel when you have to cut some corners and not spend much time on it. So may have some catch-up work to do of the PoE 2 variety in the coming weeks. And that does work fairly well with how we have what is a bit of a lull on the First Descendant side, at least until that new big update comes out in a few weeks. So just a heads up on that front.
Oh, did you know you could rewatch the Descendant instructor talk?
Oh no.
I
Who
did
in
not
their
know you
right
could
mind?
rewatch.
I think I would lose all of my blue brains if I did that.
I think that's a new thing. I don't remember that.
Oh my god. I mean, on one hand, because it's text only and extremely inconsistent with how quickly it goes through to the next line of text, if you missed something, it is a way to actually maybe read it, although even then, I feel like you're going to be waiting for, 3 minutes before you get the actual piece that you missed, and then it's still going to zoom past before you read it, and you're going to have to do it again repeatedly over and over again. So, still, I would question the sanity of anyone who does this, and if you're saying, Lids, how dare you? I've been rereading those things. Seek help.
Please.
No.
You need it.
It's not that important. It's not that important. Ignore everything that guy says, and you'll get a little pop-up in the corner that tells you what you need to do for the quest. That's all you need to know. Do not drive yourself insane by trying to actually read that absolutely horrible dialogue. As the robot tries to crack jokes in text and have a personality when you have, 3 seconds to read an entire paragraph. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.